Welcome to The Humble Daughter, a space where faith, family, and real life come together. I'm Amanda, a wife, a mom, and a follower of Jesus, learning to find beauty right in the middle of the chaos. Around here, we talk about motherhood, marriage, and trusting God's plan when life looks nothing like we expected. Because even in the ordinary, the messy, and the mundane, God is working. This is where we learn to surrender our plans and find joy in the here and now, and see that every season, even the hard ones, can be ministry. Hey guys, thank you so much for joining me today. If you watched my first video, then you kind of have a little bit of insight into, I can't figure out which side my camera is on right now. Okay, it's up there, sorry. You have a little bit of insight into my workaholic, my recovering workaholic hustle culture scenario that I am currently in. And I just wanted to follow up that episode with something that I also struggle with. I'm kind of just airing all my dirty laundry so that we can connect and kind of build this community of, here are some flaws that as human beings and Christians we have. And it is really hard sometimes to find a community of people who want to open up and talk about these kind of internal struggles that we all have. We all have sin, and everybody's sin does look different, but I think that there are a lot of people who struggle with some of the things that I am going to talk about. And I'm going to talk about a lot of things on this channel that aren't struggles that I personally have, or just like thoughts and questions that I've had as a Christian, and hopefully it can just draw us all closer in the fact that we are all human and we all do sin, and we are all a work in progress every day to draw closer to God's plan for us and God's word. So today we are going to be talking about the consumption of more earthly things, wanting more earthly things, needing nicer things, upgrade. A new iPhone comes out every couple of years. You have to have it. For me personally, it is more a my issue falls into like home aesthetics. I'm a real estate agent. I've always loved design, and I'm really good at like home decor, and I have like vision as an artist. I have vision for everything, so I want everything to just be perfect. And financially, I am unable to just pour into all these remodels on my home. And we have lived in this house for about almost a year. It's going on a year, and there's so many things I haven't been able to do, and being content with that and not constantly wanting that, and being able to be thankful for the blessings that I have, because our home is very nice. I'm just having consumerism, just addicted to new, nice, and it's such a yucky habit that I have, and something that I am working on every day to try to overcome. So let's talk about it. Wanting nice things for yourself, wanting upgrades, wanting a new car, wanting a nice kitchen, wanting to remodel, it does not make you a bad person. I do want to preface it with that. It is wanting newer and nicer and more. And if you've worked really hard and you are in the financial place where you can have these things, is that automatically bad and a sin? No, I don't. It does come a point in time when chasing more earthly things and not being content ever, always chasing that next thing, does pull you and kind of separate you from God's plan. And what is the posture of your heart whenever you are feeling this way? That's kind of what I want to talk about today, and things that I have to remind myself about. So I've got my computer pulled up here. I've got some notes that I want to go over. There's something, constantly wanting more things and nicer things. This mindset can actually kind of choke out what really should matter to you. And I think that Mark 4:19 is a really good verse that kind of ties that in. It says, "But the cares of this world and the deceitfulness of riches and the desire for other things enters in and can choke out the word, and it becomes unfruitful." Is how much those thoughts can kind of consume and take over your heart and your mind, and prevent you from being thankful for what you have. I have been trying really hard to be mindful of what a brat I sound like when I'm like, I hate this kitchen. The cabinets are ugly, the backsplash is ugly. Like, that is something that really bothers me, and I don't know why my heart is like that. And it sounds silly, but it is something that bothers me and I think about constantly, and I'm always thinking of ways that I can save up my money and upgrade. And then I am an avid reader. I have been reading a lot of books by Kristen Hanna. If you haven't read her books before, I highly recommend them. They're amazing. But a lot of these books go through and tell the story. They're all mostly historical fiction, and they talk about these like real struggles, cover the Vietnam War, World War II, the Dust Bowl, things like that, and kind of give this inside look at what that heartache and struggle and going without actually looked like. And I will read those, and then my heart will be postured in a more thankful way. And I'll think, oh my gosh, I'm such a brat for, the nicest house. That's just a huge one. That's something I really struggle with. And that can really help me, even though that is not a Christian book. It can still help posture my heart towards thankfulness and being thankful with what I have and content with what I have, because what I should be focused on is growing closer to God. He takes care of me. My ugly kitchen takes care of me. I cook meals for my family there. And I am learning every day to be thankful for what I have. And I really love real life reminders like that of how blessed I really am. So my goal in this faith journey is to shift my what more. I want more. What does that look like? What if wanting more is redefined, and my first delight is in the blessings that I already have, the time that I have with my family, the growing closer to the Lord. If that is the more that I am constantly seeking, how would that change my perspective and my happiness? So I have a couple notes here, a couple questions, I want to just open up here. Let's define what nicer things can be when they serve an actual purpose, used as a tool for ministry, beauty to worship God, resource to bless others. Before I buy or upgrade or compare, we should ask, is this going to draw me closer to Him or farther from Him? What purpose is this going to serve? How can I use what I already have to serve, to shine, and to point towards Him? And how can I find contentment in today's season? Is using what we currently have and the blessings that we have to help others, to shine light onto others. And there's so many different ways that we can do this and find contentment in the here and now. Like I said, reading the books where you learn about what actual real struggle is does help you to not want and desire such silly things. And going out and finding community and serving and helping those who have even less than you do, no matter how much you have. How can you get yourself into the understanding that there is always someone who would just truly kill for what you have, and how can you use your resources and what you have to help others instead of constantly wanting more for just yourself? What a selfish thought that I wake up and have almost every day of, I want this to be better and look nicer. I don't even have people come over. I rarely have company over. Who's gonna see it? It's so selfish. It's so selfish, and I am working on it every day. And I share this raw truth about myself to hopefully help you overcome your selfishness as well, because we all struggle with it. Okay, so this week I kind of have a little call to action or an invitation for those watching, and for myself. I'm going to do it as well. So I am inviting my viewers, especially women. This is called The Humble Daughter, but I want men and women to watch this and learn and grow from it. But this week we are going to live humbly and boldly. And I have some real life steps for us. I wrote them down so I wouldn't forget. I want you guys to write down one nicer thing you have been chasing. I have a lot of photographer friends, so a lot of times it's a new camera, it's a new lens, it's a new camera bag. I have a lot of real estate friends, so it's a new house or upgrade my kitchen or my bathroom. Write it down. Just write it down and then ask God, what's the posture of my heart towards this? Why do I want this? What will this benefit? Who will this benefit if I get this? And see, does it have a practical purpose for wanting and feeling like you need this in your life? That's step one. Is I want you to decide how you are going to use that information to steward what you already have, to bless someone else, to create something, to share your story, to somehow use that desire that you have to bring yourself or someone closer to God. My choice is to bless someone. I want a lot of things in this house, as we bought it knowing we fixed it up and we just can't do it all at once. And instead of focusing on that, I have the extra to bless a family for Christmas. So this week I am going to go, and instead of going to Lowe's 3 times a week, I am guilty and looking to see what tile is on sale and what I could possibly afford to fix up my kitchen that no one's gonna see but me. That works perfectly fine. I have adopted some kiddos for Christmas, and I'm going to go and bless others and accept that the posture of my heart for those desires that I'll someday have, and there's nothing wrong with that, is not pulling me closer to God or God's purpose for me, and is not a necessity and something that I need. And I'm going to steward that want and that need towards God's love and help somebody else instead. And that we don't have to wait until we have everything to live fully as sons and daughters of God. Don't have to constantly feel like you are kind of in that limbo, in that waiting period, to once this happens, then I can do all of these good things. Once I get this, then I can help others. You can help others and be faithful to God and be a light to others with very little, very little, and being thankful for what you have and finding contentment in the season that you're in, even if it's a season where you feel like you don't have much. It will bring you so much peace and joy to accept what you have and be happy with what you have and thank God every day for what you have. And I am a work in progress, and I am going to write down some of these things that I am constantly yearning for, that this social media, consumerism, all these things have made me feel like, oh, I need to have a kitchen like them. I need to have these nice things. And again, I know that's going to look different for everybody else. Somebody's watching this right now like, I don't really care about my kitchen, but there's something. You have something. And I accept and appreciate what I have right now, and I'm so thankful that I have the ability to, bless others in even a small way, and that will bring me so much more fulfillment and joy. I'm pausing my earthly desire for nicer things to bless someone else, and I can't wait to feel the joy and fulfillment from that. So thank you guys so much for being here today. If you can relate or this resonates with you, of yes, like I constantly just need and want something, I'm never content with what I have, then leave a comment. This is a safe place for that type of discussion. This is the community that I want to create, is humble daughters, sons and daughters of God, and who struggle with real life things. We are still absolutely wonderfully made and loved, even with all of our sins and our flaws. Have a good day.